Part 2. Azure Moon. Verdant Rain Moon. Our chosen paths. The Kingdom Army has captured Fort Mercius. Managing troops from the now stable Western Kingdom and former Alliance territory, the Kingdom Army returns to Garreg-Mach to regroup and reorganize its forces. With sufficient might to challenge the Empire, the Kingdom Army finalizes their plans to march on Enbar, the Imperial capital.
Ah, there you are. His Highness was looking for you. He's gone ahead and started interrogating the prisoner, Viscount Kleiman's man. He said he'd like for you and I to be present as well. Will you come with me?
I cannot overlook your reckless remarks. Are you really so keen to lose your head?
I only did what I believed was right. I swear to the goddess that I'm not lying. Amidst the turmoil of the tragedy, Lady Patricia was supposed to be the only one who was unharmed. We had been given orders ahead of time to not approach her carriage.
Of course not. What would my stepmother have had to gain from such a...
Perhaps Lady Patricia would have done anything to return to the Empire, to her husband and daughter.
What exactly are you implying?
For the past few months, I've been spying on lords who defected to the Empire in order to investigate rumors about Lady Patricia. Cornelia's words were true. The two of them, I am afraid they conspired together after all.
Enough of this nonsense. You say she wished to return home? That isn't nearly enough reason to cause such a tragedy.
I do not intend to imply that the two of them were solely responsible for the whole affair. They were likely nobles who opposed the king, or potentially someone who wanted to throw the kingdom into chaos. The Empire, and people like Solon and Kranya had their motives too.
So my stepmother joined with them to cause the tragedy. Is that what you believe?
Ultimately, this is just conjecture based on the evidence at hand. I have no idea what their true intentions were.
I see. We will hear what this man has to say. For now.
My lord had long felt that King Lambert's radical ways were dangerous. At the time, he was approached with an offer to take part in the incident at Dusker. My lord loves his homeland. To me, he embodied justice. We were only doing what we thought was right.
And so, in the name of justice, he caused massacre upon massacre out of love for his homeland. You murdered your own king, killed our soldiers, and involved innocent citizens. And yet you have the gall to speak of justice!
I am only standing before you now, because I could no longer bear the weight of my sins. No, I accept your hatred, and even the punishment of death. But I still believe it was a massacre in the name of justice.
Gilbert, Lock this man in his cell.
Are you not going to kill him?
I will make that decision once I have had time to consider this man's definition of justice.
Yes, Your Highness.
No, I cannot say that I am. Tell me, Professor, how well do you remember your father, Gerald? Soon enough, you will come to understand how painful it is to forget the faces of those who have passed on. To be honest, I cannot really remember my stepmother's... that woman's smile, nor the sound of her voice. I always told myself that I would not allow my mind to forget, and yet, all I can recall with clarity is her gazing away, so forlorn. Did my stepmother wish to go home so badly that she would kill Father and me? Kill her false family? Home to her own blood. Her true family. I suppose it doesn't make any difference now. I am asking you questions you could not possibly know the answer to. I am finished with thoughts like that. I am finally able to go on living without clinging to hate. If I truly treasure those who have died, then I must earnestly atone for my sins. Father, Glenn, all of the soldiers who have fallen, the people of Dusker who still suffer persecution. The only atonement I can offer them now is to take responsibility for this broken kingdom that has been entrusted to me. That is why I feel that I must meet with Edelgard and try to talk to her. Do you think it is a fool's errand? Honestly, I think so too. But I must swallow my feelings and grudges, our whole history really, and ask her about this future that she sees. What she aims for once her domination is complete. What kind of justice she clings to as she fights. And why she felt it necessary to start this war. I believe that asking her these things is the true responsibility I have been tasked with as king. We will march our troops to the Imperial capital. But before any battle begins, we will set up camp nearby and send a messenger. I will tell her that I need to speak with her in a safe place, without any weapons or troops. As to whether or not she will agree to my request, well, that rests solely on Edelgard. I would like to believe that as well. You know, Professor, when we fought in Ferdiad, Cornelia mocked me and called me pitiful. But even if it is true that my stepmother never loved me, I am not to be pitied. After all, I have allies and dear friends who care for me. And now, I also have you by my side.
So, TZR wieder am Start und ich fand das irgendwie schon recht süß, was er gesagt hat. Ich fand das echt recht süß. Also hier Spezialtraining angesagt. Da ist am besten ausruhen, Seminare. Wir sollten in Husen noch Seminare besuchen. Wir sollten nicht mehr kämpfen. Beschaffung notwendiger Ressourcen. Irgendwie gibt es ja hier nicht, ne? Spezialtraining. Ja gut, halt mit unseren Leuten reden, ne? Wo sind denn Endet und Mercedes?
Once you set out on your next mission, you won't be able to have a proper meal for a while, right? You should eat up while you can. Build up your physical.
Ja, wir essen genug. Macht euch mal keine Sorgen. Wo sind unsere Mädels? Draußen schon mal nicht. Vielleicht ja da. Wie können wir denn könnten wir die Karte noch mal switchen? So.
We'll be heading. Will the war really be over if we take the capital? Yay! I'm sure it won't end right away, but that's still great news. I truly.
Wobei man sagen muss, dass auch manche Leute noch immer dagegen sind, dann, wenn man den Krieg beendet, aber. Was ist das denn? Das ist Glaube, das ist Vernunft. Glaube Level 3. Ja. Du, seine Hoheit und mein Vater, unsere Freunde hier im Kloster, die Ritter, einfach alle. Ich weiß zwar jetzt nicht, worum es geht, aber es ist eine tolle Idee. Weiß nicht, worum es geht. Sorry, ich habe das jetzt nicht gelesen. Sorry, aber ich habe das nicht gelesen. Wobei wir auch gleich noch dazu geben müssen, dass wir gibt's eigentlich noch was? Irgendwie Spezialtraining oder sowas? Das Ultra-Schwerturnier. Sollte Felix auf jeden Fall teilnehmen. Oh lol. Das ist eine Assassinin. Was bist du denn, Schwertmeisterin? Etwas. Du greifst als Erster an. Müsstest das eigentlich schaffen. Und dann heile ich dich gleich. Komplett. Er greift jetzt zweimal an. Aber mit 74er Treffer. Einer ist das schon. Das ist schon irgendwie eine Blamage, dass er Weg getroffen hat. Zumindest einmal nicht. Man muss da genau gucken. Und der macht jetzt 18, ist ein Falkenritter. So, ich mache 2x22 Schaden. Und überlebe trotzdem. Was hat der für Treffer? 83. Das Finale ist da, Felix. Finale, mein Freund. Was ist das denn? Totenpriester. Warum haben wir denn sowas im Finale? Mein Gott. Ja, komm, auf geht's. Tot. Wie gesagt, auf Felix ist Verlass. Ultimatives Siegel als Siegerehrung. Ja, ja. Komm, wir gehen zum guten Felix, der kann uns nämlich noch im Schwert. Kann uns auch ein bisschen helfen. Da ist er. Der Gute. Das ist zwar seine Stiefmutter, ich weiß, aber er scheint mir äußerst riskant. Das ist wichtig. Bist du dagegen? Er weiß, dass es wichtig ist, alles klar. Ist doch wunderbar. Dann halt die Chance nicht stoppen. Alles gut, alles gut. Ich habe ja auch nichts dagegen. Seid ihr gut vorbereitet? Weiß ich nicht, ich brauche erstmal genug Cash. Schwertfähigkeiten kann ich echt nicht. Weil das Manuela quasi nicht... Solange wir die, glaube ich, nicht töten... Mit dem Bogen. Lol. Wo ist Ash? Hier ist niemand. Wo ist eigentlich der gute Ash? Wo ist der denn? Da ist der gute Ash. Der ist im Wohnheim, ist der. Ach ja, er ist sogar in der Nähe.
Returning to the monastery brings back so many memories from 5 years ago. Hard to believe we only spent a year together here. So much happened that it felt a lot longer than that. But it was all so exciting and so much fun. Honestly, I think those memories are what's kept me fighting this long. What was that year like for you, Professor?
Ich hatte viel Spaß. Ganz ehrlich, Ash, das war eine schöne Zeit. Na, Konter. Wie gesagt, ich fand das auch geil. Ich dachte auch eigentlich, dass das so bleibt, aber nein. Und wir halt quasi irgendwann gegen den Kaiser halt kämpfen, aber das hat sich ja dann später als falsch herausgewiesen und wir mussten quasi dafür büßen. In diesem Sinne.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. Well, they are still deep. These are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. Besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
You say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me. I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, perhaps you consider me to be someone special, but I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscur blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscur and the people of Fodlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, We must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
Oh, how I just love to clean the library room. Just takes a flash of light, and then it all goes boom. A flash, and then a big boom.
If you blow up the library, where will we put the books?
A flash, and then a big ah! What are you doing here, Felix?
I heard singing.
You were watching me again, weren't you?
Well, your skill is impressive, I'll admit.
Oh, today of all days. I knew I should have chosen a different song.
A different song? Like what?
Any of them. The box song, or maybe the dungeon song.
Now, those sound interesting.
No, they're just regular songs. Forget it. While you're here, can you help me clean up? I need the books on that shelf up there, but I can't reach them.
Oh, sure, no problem. What? You're not going to sing anymore?
No way! It's too embarrassing. And that song isn't even finished anyway.
Ah, that's too bad. I wanted to hear what happened after the library was blown away.
Hey, don't look at me like that. Okay, fine. If you insist, I'll sing just a bit more. Oh, how I just love to clean the library room. Just takes a flash of light, and then it all goes boom. A flash, and then a big boom. Suddenly the deed is done. My, what a great job I did. Who says cleaning isn't fun?
Huh. That doesn't really explain what happened with the library. Maybe they'll build a new one?
Oh, this is so embarrassing. Why are you out and about so late, Dimitri?
Hello, Flame. I could ask you the same thing.
Me? I was feeling restless and came here to think.
I see. I'm here for the same reason.
How funny. But, are you feeling well? You look fairly pale.
It's nothing. I just have a bit of a headache.
Oh my. Headaches are quite troublesome, are they not? I am sure it will subside soon. Actually, I am quite talented when it comes to healing magic. If you will allow me, I will have you feeling better in no time.
That's kind of you, but I'm fine.
But why not? Have I offended you somehow?
This headache is something I've dealt with for a while now. Ever since my family and friends were murdered before my eyes. I must never forget that day. I must never allow their deaths to be forgotten. I feel this headache as a reminder of sorts. Of those I failed to protect. And of their murderers who still roam free.
I see. That would explain your somber demeanor. Still, I do not agree with all you are saying. I feel that if I were your father or any of your dear friends whom you lost, I would want you to let go of me eventually. I would never want someone whom I care deeply for to be pained by the loss of me for eternity. And I doubt they would want that either.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, they have left this world, so I can no longer ask their preference.
We cannot ask them directly, but we can imagine how they might have felt. You know who they were as people. As for me, if I am ever to be but a memory in your future, I want you to remember me in a way that brings you joy. I would want you to smile when you recalled me, to feel warmed by the notion that I cherished your company. I cannot imagine I am the only one who feels this way. Surely anyone who loved another would wish only for their peace and happiness. I must apologize. I was out of line, clearly. I must get some rest now. Please do not stay up too late yourself.
Good night, Flame. And thank you.
Ja. Ich glaube, da hat einer versucht, jemanden aufzumuntern. Und das, was bei Felix und Annette passiert ist, das war auch sehr interessant. Aber ich sag ja, sowas, so eine Charakterentwicklung durch solche Gespräche sind ja sehr interessant. Deswegen, das ist sehr interessant, weil du hast ja auch bei Lonzu, also wenn ich jetzt wirklich wieder auf Fire Emblem Awakening drauf anziehe, er sagt auch, ich hasse, im ersten Moment, so bei Level C, sagt er auch so, ja, ich hasse Frauen. Und im anderen, und irgendwie bei A dann so langsam wird er auch rot, weil sie sich immer wieder weil sie sich halt näher kommen und so. Das fand ich sehr interessant dann halt. Deswegen. Deswegen, das fand ich schon sehr interessant. Doch sonst einer, ja gut, Gilbert hat noch. Aber wer jetzt hier welche heilige Waffe trägt, das kann ich nicht sagen. Also Endet, Mercedes wird auf jeden Fall die heilige Waffe, den heiligen Zauberstab, Magierstab, irgendwie so, ich weiß nicht, wie man das heißt, magischen Heilungsstab oder was das ist, auf jeden Fall tragen. Man kann das also quasi nicht mehr maximieren. Also wenn man S plus erreicht hat, dann geht's nicht mehr. Okay. Du sollst dich quasi mit Speeren auskennen. Triple. Du solltest dich aber auch mit Lanzen auskennen. Ja, du sowieso. For Coaching. Kritisieren. Damit steigt die Motivation. Ja, und ich glaube, ich kann dich auch nicht mehr zum Reiten anbewegen, oder? Das hilft for Coaching. Gruppenaufgabe. Die Luftsicherheit. Ingrid sowieso. Ja, und Sedef.
Professor, may I ask you something?
Sicher doch, immer doch. So wie es um uns und unseren Streitkräften steht, sind wir auf Söldner angewiesen. Doch sie haben keine Loyalität, weder einem Land nach einem Herrn gegenüber. Ich kann die Anwerber von Mietklingen nicht gutheißen. Erhöhen wir ihre Lohn, um ihre Moral zu verstärken. Wir sollten keine großen Riskanten mit ihnen eingehen. Söldner oder nicht, Verräter gibt es überall. Leute, das stimmt. Das stimmt allerdings. Das stimmt. Verräter gibt es wirklich überall. Dimitri möchte mit mir reden.
Sleep evades me, so I thought I'd get in some extra training. I was just about to finish. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago. The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were.
Sie war die Schwester von diesem Ronald. Deswegen war der Name auch einfach nicht mehr eingeblendet, weil das war die nämlich.
I don't know, but I have a guess. I suppose I haven't told you about that yet. I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time. Of course, I could capture the lot of them with my eyes closed. It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one, I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially, my life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point, I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated, because I stole, and because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with. Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war. Until the day my life comes to an end. Thank you. You know, Professor, there's something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
Oh, das ist ja schon ein bisschen süß. Aber was mich interessieren würde, ist, was passiert wirklich? Gehen wir am 30. komplett da rein und töten? Also ich kann mir vorstellen, dass Edelgard zwar zu diesem Treffen zusagt und sagt, ja, ich rede mit dir, aber sie hat halt ihre königliche Macht, um Dimitri zu töten. Und deswegen, das wird schwierig sein, das ja so hinzunehmen. Deswegen, die wird zwar sagen, okay, ich treffe mich mit dir, aber wenn der Zeitpunkt kommt ist, töten wir ihn, quasi so nach dem Motto.